Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Today, it's going to be a best of 5 between Time and Serral. Starting on Cyberforest, the latter edition, cast a best of 5 between these two players back in May, and it was an incredible series. I'll put a link in the top right. And if I forget, please remind me in the comments. I read every single comment that is posted on this channel and have ever since its inception. All right, so bottom right, from Finland, we have the Red Zerg player. It is Serral. And top left, we have the Chinese Terran player. He is blue. It is Time. My goodness, I like Time. I like this guy a lot. He is strong. His micromanagement and multitasking and decision-making, he's terrifying in every way. He's proxying. By the way, going to the proxy opening here, 2 racks. 2 racks on the opening. Serral's like, oh, I'm trying to scout with these overlords. And boy, have I had many discussions with people in different Discord channels and servers about why you just don't worker scout as Zerg. I'm like, well, it puts you behind in the mid game if you send a drone out for that long. And it's like, well, then you just die to proxies if you don't. The overlord doesn't scout this stuff otherwise. And in this situation, okay, Serral got lucky. He rolled the dice. Oh, hold on. Hold your horses there. He was going the right way. He was going the right way, and then he was like, you know what? What's down here? Is there a tree down? Ooh, there's a nice tree. Can float over this tree and rub my tentacles against it. Brush my tentacles against it. Yeah, man, he doesn't know. SCV coming in to scout, which isn't too weird. Again, Terran players also don't like worker scouting because they lose a ton of resources. But in this case, I don't think it really matters. 2 drones coming down immediately to deal with this SCV. He's like, dude, Time, if you're SCV scouting, something crazy is happening. And with that bunker coming up, definitely something crazy is happening. So that pool is almost done. Serral should be able to hold this off. 2 queens immediately, 8 lings immediately. Marine's going to try to kill as many drones as possible before the lings show up. He's got a small window in which to do this. And look at these drones. Serral's losing all the mining time in the world here. But drones are actually faster than Marines and hit pretty hard too. And this micro's actually kind of insane though. 1 Marine goes down. Couple drones getting wrecked. Lings going after this bunker. SCV going to try to finish it, but there are too many lings. Slow lings again are faster than Marines. Slow Marines are pretty slow, as it turns out. When they have stim, they're really fast. But before that point, they're actually pretty darn pokey. So yeah, the bunker's up. Congratulations, you finished the bunker, but all your Marines are dead. And the bunker's going to get salvaged because there are lings and queens here, and Serral's okay. So at this point, we just even? Let's take a look. It's 20 to 21 workers. It's 2 base to 1 base. 25 to 28 available supply here for or total supply here for both players. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would you say at this point Time is behind? Serral lost a ton of mining time with those drones that he pulled off to try to hold that. He did successfully hold it. So at this point, I mean, I don't know. In the past, I have seen players do this, right? I've seen Morrow do this especially, where he goes for the proxy. It doesn't work. He just lifts off the barracks and comes home, and he wins anyway in TVZ. So I think it just might be a matter of if your cheese here doesn't work as Terran, you can recover if you force a lot of lost mining time from the Zerg, as in fact he did. 3rd base is now coming up for Serral, so we're just a couple minutes behind the normal schedule, maybe 1 minute behind. Serral wants to take his third to about 2.5 minutes. Instead, gets it down here at about 3.5. So that is our difference maker today. And yeah, I mean, everything looks okay at this point. I don't think Time's dead, but neither is Time in a fantastic position. I mean, he'd like to have an expansion is the whole point here. Plus, Serral had to make a lot of lings that he can't really use for anything right now. He's using them for scouting, which is great, but there's nothing to really scout at this point. Hellions are on the way, and Hellions against slow lings are great. So the Hellions, they'll be fine. They will get scouted by these slow lings, but they won't die to them under any stretch, as speed is on the way, but it's not anywhere near completing here. Serral went for that 3rd really fast. He's going to try to just out macro Time into the ground here. And Time's like, you know what? I'm going to 1-base this thing. Just kidding. He has an expansion on the way, and he's just trying to have enough stuff to hold here, I think is the plan. He's like, I just want to be able to not die if I take a natural base. Is that all right with you? And if Serral was 2-basing it and just made a whole ton of Zerglings, there'd be no way to take a natural base safely, but it'd be a 1-base to a 2-base, and Time would be all right. So in this case, where Serral is going for a 3rd and trying to saturate it, he is making lings, he is making banelings, but he's got that 3rd base up, and so it is fairly safe to take this natural, especially if you have Hellions. And Marines. The bunker would be pretty good here too. And moving out with the medevac here with 4 Hellions in it. So you got to get that harassment out. Even if your initial harassment failed, as a Terran player, you cannot stop. You cannot stop with the harassment. I think these might be Banelings, you guys. On their position and waiting for that Baneling nest. Baneling nest done. Banelings are on the way, but defensive Banelings, it would seem. Yeah, defensive Banelings, interestingly enough. Hellions unloading. There are already 4 queens here, and there are 6 queens total on the map because Serral is nonstop making queens, which is something I've started to do in my own ladder games and my own multiplayer ladder games, and it's awesome, man. Having a ton of queens is fantastic. Might slow down your drone count a little bit if you're not Serral, as Serral's at 76 workers anyway. But, man, is anything going to die here? Are these Lings just going to get murdered? Yeah, the Lings got murderized. They accomplished nothing other than a scout, which is cool. Once again, you just can't do much down here. If there are that many queens, and you can't unload up top here because there are Lings and there are Banelings, and time's like, fine. I mean, at least I forced out some units from Serral, forced him to make some Lings and some Banelings he didn't want to make. But at this point, it's a 3 base to a 2 base. It is, what a worker count, 37 to 54, which seems really bad for the Terran player. And yeah, he's definitely behind. Marines and tanks pushing out here too, but got 10 more Lings on the way. Baneling speed is getting started, and the creep spread is fantastic, something that you really need to do. I know it gets harped on a lot in the games you guys watch, but man, creep spread makes the difference between life and death for Zergs. Queen down, another queen down here. Man, Marines do not care about queen DPS. Hellions do, and Hellions can't kill queens at all. But Lings here with speed, Banelings not with speed, and this 3rd base might actually go down. That tank setup is really nice. The Marines are just steadily focusing down here. Nice transfuse. Banelings exploding a little bit on what they don't want to explode on. Nice surround on the Marines, but the hatch does go down, and the pickup is there, and the tank gets sacrificed. And the 3rd base goes down for Serral. That's a huge pickup. Massive pickup for time. He was behind. Without question was he behind there. But Serral loses the 3rd. He's double expanding to make up for that. It's now a 2-basing Zerg, which is just not enough larva to do what you want to do. I know this feel, man. So time, making it work. Boy, he was not in a good position and then went out and did stuff. That's what Terran players do. They go out and they get stuff done. They pick off bases. They kill drones. They snipe down queens with liberators and whatnot. Meanwhile, these guys are in trouble. And yes, they are. They're picking up and they're getting out. Creep spreading continuing here. So Serral, if he can get both these bases up, he's going to be okay. Overseer scouting in about 7.5 minutes. Trying to see what he can see. And it's just a ton of bio. Israel is going to be just Marine tank. Medevac here. Upgrades coming up on that engineering bay. So he knows how to handle this. He can handle this really mobile force of Marines. Maybe some Marauders in the mix too at some point, but not any yet. Marauders would actually be kind of amazing against these Banelings. But yeah, it looks like the army is bigger this time for Serral. Plus, he has Baneling speed. It's not just speed, it gives him a little bit more HP, but I've never really noticed a difference in Banelings that are getting target fired by Marines with 5 extra HP versus ones that don't have the 5 extra HP. It seems fairly useless, honestly. I mean, I appreciate the buffs coming from Blizzard, but that one was like, 5 HP, so what? Serral moving out with some Lings and Banelings, trying to see if they can find some reinforcing units to pick off before they can join the front here. And the rest of their friends as they try to kill this 3rd base again. Tank sets up on the high ground, firing on those tanks a little bit. Serral not engaging until that tank can hit on that hatchery is generally what he's going to work on here. Can he take down the hatch? Here comes the Zerg all over the place, though, from the backside, from the front side, engaging off creep, getting a full surround on these Marines, and the Lings getting massacred as a result. Serral does not have the upgrades to do that, man. He does not have +1 attack. He doesn't have +1 armor either. The Marines are heavily injured, but they are getting controlled by time exceptionally well. Like I said about time, his micro is insanely good. The overstim is real right now from time. He wants that hatch so bad, but he's making good trades. It's 5,300 resources lost for Serral and 2,600 for time. Lings coming around the backside again, maybe here. That is a lot of queens. Sorry, tank, you're dead. There's no saving you. No tank of Axe in this patch of Legacy of the Void. Ling's just getting massacred to some extent. A lot of Zerglings have died this game, you guys. We're looking at, how many? 89. Gone down, but a bunch of Marines, too. 25. So, yeah, that's actually really good trades. If you do the math, trying to do math on stream, you know what they say about that. Tank setting up again. 2 tanks this time after losing the 1. Banelings going for it. The splits are really good out of time. A tank does get killed. Both tanks go down. Now there's a Liberator, and now there are only Queens. And only Queens, especially with Liberator support here. Ooh, Medevac gets picked off. Banelings. And Ling's not making it happen, but the Liberator gets killed by the Queens there. This game 1 has been beautiful. I cannot even express to you how good this game 1 has been. Meanwhile, Liberator's setting up here at the 4th base, killing some drones, trying to get out of there, getting shot a little bit in the face too, and an egg gets destroyed. Queens come to deal with that. And just picks up and gets out, does our Liberator pilot. 3rd base has been landed here. There's a single Zergling trying to harass this line of SCVs. If they just, well, actually more Lings coming on in. Ooh, a free tank is nice. A free tank is a free tank, ladies and gentlemen. Dropping inside the main base, though, killing some more of these drones. Again, the overstim is real. That medevac has no energy for anything. Ling's getting into that 3rd base, killing SCVs, and then fleeing for their lives. And picking up and getting out there is time. If this is how this whole series is going to be, you guys, I don't even know what to do with myself. This has been incredible. Seriously, this might be one of my favorite matchups in all of StarCraft 2 is Time versus Serral at this point. They just bring out the best in each other. Time can really give Serral everything he can handle, as we've seen to this point. It's a 4 base to a 3 base. Worker count 48 to 55, which is totally fine. Ling's attacking on in here. It is 10 drones that have been killed and 7 SCVs. Really hasn't been all that much. Once again, Lings and Banelings trying to do stuff off creep. It's just not how you do. Serral might be underestimating his opponent a little bit here, trying to do all this off-creep stuff. And sure, he's going to get a tank. But this larger group of Marines is just totally fine. The tank is still here with 14 kills. A 14-kill tank is pretty fantastic. Serral really just making Lings and Banelings and Queens at this point. He's got +1 ground armor, which is going to help a lot against the Marines. Got +2 attack here, too, for those Lings and the Banelings. And +2 armor is on the way now, too. Tank actually being sacrificial. And then the drop in the main base. Getting that spawning pool would be massive. If he gets the spawning pool, probably time to get up and get out of here. Although if Lings want to run into the meat grinder, that's fine with time too. Honestly, was that a Baneling hit? That was a Baneling hit, wasn't it? Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Man, I wish that back was like 10 seconds instead of 20, but we'll roll with it. Ha ha ha, as these Banelings roll in. Yeah, no reaction time from time at all. So we lose a bunch of SCVs. Not as many as could be. There was a pull, and then the spawning pool dies on the other end. And until the Banelings show up, oh, they got the lair too. Massive pickup. Massive, massive drop there from time. Absolutely insane. Serral has not had the ability to go for a Spire at this stage. He's killing all the tumors inside the main base, so the vision is not as good for Serral up here, and he's just holding. It's like, you know what? No! I got a little bit overconfident there. Took a huge Baneling hit. And that might be the end of that little drop there. I mean, these guys are war heroes without question. 5 kills on that Marine, 4 kills on that Marine. 2 kills, 4 kills there. They've been pulling their own weight. Ling's getting into this 3rd base. What on earth, man? I know you have a tank on the high ground, but that hurts your SCVs as much as it hurts attacking Zerglings, dude. Man, pushing on into the 3rd base again. This has been a favorite attacking spot of Times. Banelings again off creep are just not fast. Sure, you're killing the tanks. Good job. Congratulations on that one, but just too much. Even off creep, that's way too much Zerg. Army supply 113. Actually, army supply is 74 to 54 in favor of Time. He's got his 3rd base. His workers keep getting killed, but he is just continuing to attack on in here. He's got +2 attack and +1 infantry armor. Killing Queens is really nice. Forcing transfuses out of them is almost as nice too. So transfuses can't be used later. Time doing so well at picking up here. Another expansion attempt by Serral, which does get unloaded and dropped on by a bunch of Marines. I have to send some, actually, does everybody go up there? Man, you could actually probably jump in and, dude, you could actually maybe just jump in here and kill this base. Although the Queens are coming back, and the hatch does get canceled, or was that just killed? That might have been just a kill. Ladies and gents, how many hatcheries down? 2? Yeah, I think that was death. Amazing. Oh, dropping in range of a spore is really bad. Splits against the Banelings, good, but there are so many Banelings. So many Banelings here. Marine tacks on in, sees the macro hatch. We are 13 minutes into game 1 of this series, you guys. I don't even know what's real anymore. Queens laying creep tumors. And yeah, man, just Liberators, tanks, and Marines. Time says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have a bigger army than the Zerg player does. I'm only down 2 in total worker supply. Serral's been on 3 bases for a while now, and just can't seem to take a 3 base to 3 base. Definitely favors me. The problem is, eventually Ultralisks are going to show up. Maybe Broodlords are going to show up. You're going to want more than Marine, Tank, Liberator in that case. But for now, he's fine. That production tab shows that Serral is not choosing to do any of that. Banelings, did they get in there again? I don't know if they did. This is a lot of Banelings. That look at these SCVs fighting the Banelings. Now there are 4 tanks, and it's getting real. Any attack upgrades on those tanks? Absolutely not. All the upgrades belong to the Marines. Which means the +2 armor on the Lings is actually pretty good. All right, man. Small group of Marines attacking on in. Again, going for the backside wraparound here. Man, a lot of Queens going down, but that's so many Banelings. Oh my gosh. All right, well, everybody dies. Who doesn't get picked up anyway. Tanks get some extra hits off. More Baneling attacks coming in at this 3rd base. You've seen the Baneling attacks. You know what they look like, but a 4th base has been taken by time. He can absolutely do this. Dude, Serral's main base is gone. I guess I realized that when he said he's been on 3 bases. I just didn't realize he hadn't retaken his main. Look at this high ground positioning, and trying to attack up that ramp is absolutely amazing, but nope. Enough Banelings and enough creep spread to make that happen. Lings trying to cruise on in. Dude, where are your planetary fortresses? Why on earth are these all orbitals? Time, I understand you want the economy, bro, but then this stuff happens. Ling attacks can get in here and ruin your day. Trying to unload on the low ground? No, says Serral. Boy, if it wasn't for the fact that Serral is on a bit of a gimped economy here. How many kills does this Liberator have? 8? Really? I mean, she's dead now. But still, look, man, if you're not going to put planetaries up, at least put a bunker down. I mean, something to where just naked Lings can't roll in here and kill all your stuff. Please. I would appreciate it immensely. It hurts me. I mean Zerg, but man, I wish those Terrans I played against would just not reinforce their 3rd bases at all. Of course, that'd be time, and he'd have destroyed me with his first bunker push. I would have not responded well to that at all. So, Ling's coming on in, going after some of the supply depots, trying to kill a bunch of these SCVs, tank not in siege mode up on that high ground, and attacking the 4th base at the same time. A lot of SCVs getting killed here, trying to drop inside the main base. This is actually a good idea. Just siege on the high ground. Oh, losing a medevac there, actually. And try to take down that lair. Yeah, man, tanks setting up here. Attacking that base and this base at the same time. I kind of really like it. 4th base is in ruins. 3rd base is in ruins for time. Extractors getting picked off here as well. I'm really loving that. Banelings exploding harmlessly on 1 or 2 Marines. Can they actually survive a Baneling hit with the upgrades that they have? They got the +2 armor on. Tank happily firing from the high ground. Trying to kill evolution chambers. Has shut down all of the mining at this 3rd base of Serral. It has been under fire consistently here. Evolution chambers sniped. Future upgrades will be more difficult. 4th base survives. 3rd base survives. I think mules are good. Income here is actually in favor of Serral. Ling counterattack. He knows he can't really dislodge this super well. I think the tank needs to move up somewhere. I know he's trying to cover this base too, and he's doing a really good job of it. Man, 4th base, not good. Not stabilized. Abort, abort. Don't try to retake the 4th, and the 3rd is in trouble here too. Can I just tell you, how much hassle you would have saved by having a planetary fortress up? Serral would have had to commit Banelings to take these suckers down. Lings and Banelings killing the group that are trying to kill the 5th base, and I think time needs to kill this natural, or he's just done right now. It is suddenly 144 to 99 supply, and bam! Serral gets the win. Time taps out in an 18-minute game 1 that started with a bunker rush. I don't even... Where's the series going to go, you guys? What? I mean, 26,000 resources lost for Serral, right? And only 19 lost for time. But in the end there, it was this. It was these Ling attacks on the 3rd base constantly, on the 4th base constantly. Not a bunker to be seen. Not a Liberator to be seen. Not a planetary fortress to be seen. If he protects these bases, I kind of think he wins. Again, it just forces Serral to send more units up to the front to harass and not have enough to defend back home. Woo! Good game, though. 2 hatcheries going down. If you can take 2 hatcheries off of Serral, you're doing something right. But just not enough of it. As it turns out, 13 tanks died, 154 Marines, 370 Lings. That's about a 2-to-1 ratio there. A little bit more heavy on the Ling casualty side of things, but that's all right. 96 Banelings, a spawning pool. Again, sniping the spawning pool is a big deal. And the lair, replacing Serral to replace or forcing Serral to replace the lair is nuts. So good. Good stuff there. Game 1, you guys. That's only game 1. Let's see what game 2 has in store for us, shall we? We'll be back in just a second. Game 2 is going to be on Thunderbird, the Ladder Edition, a very, very large map. I think this is Zerg favored map because of the wide open spaces, long rush distances, and easy to take third. Maybe a slightly favored Zerg map because the third base is easy to take for Terran and Protoss as well. All right, so bottom right is Serral. He's 1 up on this best of 5 over time. In the top left corner, we will find him. He is still blue. He is still incredible. Man, that game 1 was a game for the ages. Non-stop action. Bailing hits. Liberators. Sniping down drones. Serral lost his main base, you guys, and still won. Still won! Man. That would have maybe deserved an epic tag if it had been cast all on its own. But, Anyway, hatch first here. Out of Serral into 18 gas. 18 gas it is. Into probably a 17 hatch, and in fact it is. Timing works out nicely there. And ta-da. So it's probably a 16, 18, 17, I believe is what the standard is these days. And nothing too crazy here. No proxies this time at all. Out of time. Time's like, you know what? We're good. I mean, how rough is that, honestly, that your cheese didn't get scouted, but it got wrecked anyway? I guess it did see the SCV coming in. And Serral does know that time is a bit of a cheeser, so... And he saw where the SCV was coming from, too. That's probably the bigger tell. Anyway. Reaper on the way. Reaper's name is standard Joseph Reaper name. Insert a short character background here. Then insert action the Reaper takes here. Insert how the Terran Dominion Emperor Manx hates that action here. Insert a statement the person was sent to the Reaper program here. And insert meta statement that this was posted on April Fool's Day here. Yeah, man. Posted on April Fool's Day. That is how far back I am on my Reaper name list. Maybe hold off a little bit. We're like 4 months back. At this stage, we don't need Reaper names. If you have one and you're struck by one and you have an inspiration, by all means, put it down. But just in the comments of the videos, that's where I find them. But like, if you feel like you need to, don't feel like you need to for a bit. All right? All right, let's just be friends. So Reaper coming in, and we're going to see the dance we've seen a bajillion times. I'm just so tired of this dance. La, la, la. Maybe a Ling will die. Maybe not. Maybe a Ling will not die. Ho, ho, ho. And then the Queen pops out, and then the dance is over. And no drones get killed, and a Reaper's like, I killed a thing, look at me. A single Zergling went down. Yeah, Zergling scouting on out this way, and yeah, nothing too nuts here, honestly. Looks like it is factory and multiple barracks, and another command center coming up, so third base all the way from Serral 2. Looks like we're setting up for a nice macro-style game here. A couple more Lings are on the way than I would expect to see at this stage. Did he mine through there? He didn't. So to get through this, you'll notice the mineral patches. You bring a drone up, you mine through. Another drone up, you mine through. You send them home, and you have a nice access to the third base. So good Terrans will recognize that as a possibility and scout it before they land their third. But yeah, quick third definitely coming up right about from the Terran player, because why not, honestly? Pretty darn easy to hold. Meanwhile, Serral... Ooh, 10 Lings on the way from Serral. Hold your horses. This feels like a bit of a Baneling bust out of our Zerg player. It's got Lings. It's got more Lings. It's got more Lings. Does he have a Baneling nest? It's not a Baneling bust. It's a Ling bust. What? What is this? Delayed Ling bust? Oh, man. I don't think time has enough to handle this. He's got a Reaper, whose name is standard Joseph Reaper name, and a Hellion. And that's literally it. Oh, he's got 2 more Hellions on the way. Can the Hellions hold is the question. Oh, the Hellions. Look at him chasing it away. Serral invested so much into that. Oh, no, Serral. He went for a thing, but that's why you don't go for Zergling things against Terran, because they're going to have Hellions probably anyway. And Hellions do so well against Zerglings if they're controlled well, and for time, they're going to be controlled well. Oh, boy. Suddenly, Serral, I think, is in trouble. He's got 42 workers, which is nice. But he should have way more workers than that. He should have, like, 60 workers. I feel like with all the Lings he's made, he's got 13 Lings out. That's 10, 11 and a half drones more he could have. Oh, yeah. That's 60 easy plus. Oh, wait, my math is bad. That's 55 easy plus. A Baneling Nest is now coming up. And a lair. So Serral's settling in for a bit of a more calm play here. Got his queens hanging out, spreading that creep. Third base lands. Serral says, nothing too unexpected there. If he goes for a fourth, then he's just going to try to keep pace here. But he's not making a fourth, you guys. And he's trying to take down these rocks. He doesn't have attack upgrades on the way for these lings at all either. So it'll take him some time. The good news about these rocks for Zerglings is a lot of Zerglings can hit these rocks at once. You'll see other rocks that have all the armor that this one does. That like 6 Zerglings can hit it. Maybe 4 Zerglings can hit it. And it takes forever. But these wider ones are actually easier to knock down, which is nice. Hellions moving out. Still standard stuff here. And then going for a bit of a 5.5 minute double medevac drop here. Kind of like this, honestly. Hellions at the front. Drop heading across the map. Armory coming in. These are probably going to be Hellbats in a moment, if I had to guess what we're seeing here. Lings and Banelings trying to be the answer. Oh, he's not actually dropping. He's just going for it, man. He's just absolutely going for it. Hellbat Marine medevac attack at 6 minutes. I would poop my pants if this was coming to kill me. Yeah, these Lings are not doing it. They're like, wait, hold on. No, the Banelings are morphing at the wrong possible spot here. They're not coming up in time. All the Lings are going down. The Queens are trying to fight. Not doing well against these stimmed Marines. And good game. Whoa! Time takes game number 2. What a fantastic push that was. Even with the third base. I think Serral just misread that. I think Serral was like, third base up. Clearly no aggression coming from our Terran opponent here. And then suddenly these Marines, and I think the Hellbats caught him by surprise more than anything else. He was ready with Lings for that. He was ready for the Hellions with that. But then suddenly it's Hellbats and it's Marines and it's medevacs healing everything. And that's it. That's the game. So time ties it up there in an incredibly efficient 1,400 resources lost rather for Serral and only 168 lost for time. A Marine and a Hellbat died. 1. Also, Serral making those Banelings up on the front here. They were too late is what it was. Sometimes it's a game of seconds, man. Those Banelings come up 10 seconds earlier. Suddenly it's an easier hold for Serral, and I think we get into the late game. But nope, they weren't ready to go. They all got killed, and Serral tapped out. So game 3. Man, after such a long, crazy game 1, game 2 is over real fast. But game 3 coming at you. Don't go anywhere. The mind games. One of the things I love about StarCraft. Game 3 is going to be on King's Cove. Top left, Serral. Bottom right, time. I have the hardest time not making accidental puns with time's name when I'm casting this player, but I've already made a couple accidental puns. And if you know what they are, put them in the comments, and I will give you a thumbs up or maybe a heart. All right, man. Serral sending out his overlord, sending out his other overlord. He has 22 supply and, yep, 16 hatch. 16 hatch here from Serral. Yeah, man. I remember the days when it was like 15, 14, 15. I'm trying to remember the old build orders in Wings of Liberty. When they realized that hatch first was actually really safe versus Terran, people were like, oh, I don't have to go pool first versus Terran. Awesome. They started doing it. Maybe it was like a 17, 15, or 17... Like a 17, 16, 15, or it was easy. It was easy to remember. So I think that might have been it. Anyway, yeah, nothing too nuts here. No proxies at all. We're just going for the gas. So obviously it's going to be a Reaper. And the Reaper's name is also going to be April Fool's themed like our last one was. Let's make sure that's what it is. And that's what it is. April Fools is just an average guy who played one too many April Fool's pranks on his friends, and they decided to play one back on him by enrolling him in the Reaper program. Unfortunately, the Reaper program isn't very understanding of these jokes and won't let its recruits leave, so April Fools is doomed to fight an eternal, endless war until his death. Or at least until he kills a couple of workers and can return home in glory. Here's hoping. Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck when your opponent is Serral. Getting 2 worker kills is probably too much to ask, man. If this wasn't into the Void game or a Mandrake Madness, then sure. It is possible, but... Anyway, check out the Falcon Paladin Hour every week. There is a new episode of the Falcon Paladin Podcast Hour. Just search on your podcast app, Falcon Paladin. and you will find us. It's me, and it's Somicron. He's an Australian, I'm an American. We talk about StarCraft. We talk about Warcraft. We talk about nerdy stuff and Marvel Cinematic Universe and books and TV shows and anime. And we are all over the place with our nerd culture, and you should listen. All right, so that drone was going for a third base, and Time was like, no, you do not get a third base at all. How about we just block that with an SCV until the end of time, because the drone can't win a fight against an SCV. At least not fast. Eventually it will, because the SCV can't get healed up unless there are other SCVs there or, you know, a medevac. But no medevacs yet, man, and this third base is getting delayed to 50 is really bad. We're going to get to 3 minutes here before this third base can go down. This is a long way to get a third. And, oh, he does actually sneak it down here. I'm talking about how it's hard for Serral to get a third. And he tossed it down anyway. Serral, why do I underestimate you? So dumb. So dumb sometimes, you guys. Doing my best here. I suppose is all anybody can ask. Right? Right. I think that's how things generally work. Anyway, 6 drones at a time. See, this is Serral making drones. This is where he's like, I don't need 20 lings. I'm a drone up my face, and then if I need anything that the Terran player is going to send at me, I'll make some Zerglings, I guess. But usually, just the Queens are enough to handle the Hellions, especially if there are only 4 of them. And a Liberator coming in here, too. Queens are going to be holding that. So Serral just going to go the Ling Queen route. And does he have speed? Of course he got speed. I did see that. I was just, for a second there, I was curious. Actually, we could have looked at these dudes, and they are zippy. Yeah, I actually had a Brood War fan come in and watch one of my StarCraft 2 streams out on Twitch, twitch.tv/FalconPaladin, and he was like, what are those little speedy things the Zerg has that has wings? And I was like, we kind of take it for granted, don't we? The visual cues that we have that tell us when units have an upgrade, it looks pretty significantly different, especially from distance. The wings are a big part of it. Big part of speedling versus slowling. And I was just like, I don't even know what you're talking about, man. And then someone's like, you mean with the wings, and they look like Zerglings, but they have wings? And he's like, yeah, I guess so. And yeah, how amazing is that? Overlord comes in, sees the quick starport, sees no tech lab on it, and says, all right, it's probably not going to be, well, it can't be a battlecruiser, and it can't be a Banshee. So Liberator, it's probably going to be maybe a Viking too, but remember I said about the Queens handling this? Yeah. 4 Queens can handle 6 Hellions. You start getting too many more, and especially if they turn into Hellbats, which is the Overlord was checking for Hellbat, well, for armory stuff there again. Checking for Hellbat stuff. You know what I mean. You know what I means, and I means what I know. Liberator flying in, but there's a Queen and a Spore here, so that is a retreat situation for time. Excellent job getting her out of there so she doesn't die. Lair coming in for the Zerg player. And our Terran friend is just making a 3rd command center, which is cool. Hellions trying to get up here. Oh, they're going to get pinned. Are they going to get pinned? Oh, the Hellions get pinned. All of them die. Every single one of the Hellions is going to die. There's no getting out of here. They're going to kill all the Lings too, fair enough, but there is nowhere for them to go. I mean, sure, 2 of them are still technically here, which is nice, but they have very low HP. Liberator does get picked off, and yeah, the Hellions try to get out, but you are trapped. You are trapped inside a trap of your own making, and you are destroyed. Serral taking a 4th base at about 5.5 minutes, where you want to do if you're playing the macro style. And he certainly is. Liberator does end up getting a kill here at the natural base, but again, there's a Spore and there's a Queen, and it's hard to get much done when that's the case. So Serral defending masterfully, as he often likes to do, as he often tries to do. Very defensive style we see from him most times. Although, again, I think he was trying to go for a Ling attack, Ling Baneling Bust or something of the sort in game 2 there. Wait, game 1... they're running together already. That's how you know my brain is really strong, guys. All right, so Overseer, cruising on and out. We are making Banelings, going for that +1/+1 for the Lings and the Banelings. And I might just see a bit of a recap. I was going to say a recap of game 1, except there's a Hydralisk Den coming up. So Hydraling Bane here, and surprisingly good against Terran. Hydras with upgrades kind of hold their own against Marines, especially if you have Baneling support. And Hydras can do pretty well against small numbers of tanks, too. I mean, not a huge tank line. If you have 5 or 6 or 7 tanks lined up, your Hydras are going to die. But if there's like 1 or 2 tanks here, the Hydras can take a shot and keep on ticking. So, not bad. Not a bad unit here. Muscular Augments coming in. Infestation Pit on the way at 7 minutes. I'd love to see that from Serral. Again, knocking down these rocks. Serral's trying to make that happen. And it's time for our drop. It's about a 7-minute drop attempt. By drop attempt, he could just land on the edge of the creep and try to clear out some creep tumors and just have the medevacs for support there, and he is. He's going to land it actually far away from the edge of the creep, trying to kill that Zergling. They did scout them coming out anyway, so he knew he wasn't getting much done by hitting that direction regardless, so might as well be on the ground and not in the air and helpless. That's what I always say. Serral chasing off creep again. Is he trying to make sure the tumor lives? He wants the tumor to live, and then he'll move out, although he had enough lings to get that surround, even off creep. And if you have that surround and you have the upgrades, you can do pretty well. Now, +1 attack finished. He did finish +1 attack. Did he cancel? No, it's there. I'm blind. It's fine. One's there. +1 armor is there too. Baneling's getting target fired, and that is some pretty good stuff. Pretty nicely done target firing. All right, so third base up. Not actually that hard of a third base to hold either here on King's Cove, which is why it leads to some really long macro games. At least the ones that I've cast and that I've seen out in the world there. The pro level. Muscular Augments is done. Grooved Spine's getting started. That's what I like to do too, is just kind of queue them up. I don't like to queue up a lot of things, but man, queuing up Grooved Spines and Muscular Augments, both those upgrades are absolute musts for the Hydras. And time pushing on creep. Not what you want to do. Absolutely not. So we're tied up, by the way. This is a best of 3 effectively now. 7 Hydras on the way and a Spire. Trying to set up on this right side. But man, once the Hydras are here, these medevacs really have a hard time. They have to go, right? I know the Queens are scary, but man, the Hydras are scarier. The Hydras are so abjectly terrifying if you are anything that flies. So 5th base done. From Serral, he's going to try to saturate that with about 3 or 4 drones at a time, making some Lings and some Hydras to try to stay alive against the attacks that are coming from time. He knows he's probably going to get maxed out at this stage. There's really no worry. No reason to worry that he won't. At this point, 9 minutes in and on 5 bases, yeah, he'll get maxed out. He's just, there's not enough time for him not to get maxed out. Time's army is on the other side of the map. So yeah, continuing to knock down these rocks. Zerg really likes additional attack pass for wraparounds and surrounds and kills. And yeah, fewer choke points, as it turns out, for the Terran player. Good positioning, not bad, but there are so many +1/+1 Lings here. Also, Vipers in production and a Greater Spire. I think Time might be in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. He is just going to be faced up against the might of the Tier 3 Zerg in just a couple of minutes here, it feels like. Legacy of the Void games are really, really fast. I like it a lot. Banelings, no. Creep spread, insane right now. Just bonkers. Fusion Core getting started now. I don't think that's for battle cruisers. Probably just for advanced ballistic for Liberators, as the Liberator production has not continued, but we do have additional starports coming in. Maybe this is battle cruiser. That would be interesting. Hydras don't trade well versus battle cruisers at all. And again, every time I say this, I have to think to myself, yes, if you have 20 Hydralisks and 1 battle cruiser, the battle cruiser will die, but just not trade efficiently, right? If you have 6 Hydras or 7 Hydras in a battle cruiser, you're going to have a hard time. Does not trade very well here at all. Medevacs need to get out. They need to get out of there. They're lingering on the edge of the creep there just a little bit. Serral didn't want to get in on top of it and get his hands dirty, but that's totally fine. Overseer scouts on in to see what is what. And the answer is a couple Vikings. A Broodlord's in production, so we do have the Vikings getting double pumps right now, as there was a scan to see that Greater Spire. Did he? Yeah, he caught it right there. So he definitely knows there's a Greater Spire at this point. I feel like he probably did prior to this point, too. So the Broodlords are here, and this is where things get a little bit interesting. Do you have enough Vikings to take these suckers down? Can you split well enough against the Parasitic Bomb the Vipers are going to bring here? And can your tanks hold on against the onslaught of Lings, Hydras, and Queens, and a Broodlings raining down from above right now? The Vikings are doing the kiting thing. The Queens are here for transfuses, though. Abducting the Vikings, actually. Killing a couple of them. That's pretty good stuff. The tanks are all gone, and now the Hydras and Banelings can engage with this. Okay, all of them are not. Okay, now they're gone. Now the tanks are almost all gone. There's another one there. They keep coming, guys. But yeah, this third base, or this fourth base rather, looks to be in a lot of trouble. The Marines actually bravely attacking up into the Broodlords, taking a couple down. The Viking count is abysmal. And yeah, actually not a fourth base. That's an orbital command that was kind of a fourth base. But this is the real fourth base. It's a planetary fortress. And back home, it's a big old drop. It is a big old drop of 2-2 Marines. Just absolutely massacring these drones. 14, 16 drones go down. The hatch goes down. You abuse the immobility of these Broodlords is what you got to do here. Another Broodlord goes down. These guys are being dealt with Lings and Banelings and Hydras. But after sniping an entire base, and Time has not lost a base yet, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. But the army, however, 101 to 72 supply in favor of Serral. The Broodlords have been doing some work. 1 kills, 3 kills, 2 kills. I don't know why they never get the 50, 60 kill counts we see from things like Archons and Immortals. I don't understand it. They're really expensive. They're slow, just like Archons and Immortals are. But I guess they're just more there to provide ambient damage, and then other stuff's kill steals from them, like Hydras and Lings and Banelings. Another base down here from Time. He weathered that first attack extremely well. And his army supply is increasing immensely here, too. He's making Marauders. He's got Marines. He's got Ghosts. His Viking count is back up here, too. Another Broodlord sniped off. How many Broodlords have died? 6 Broodlords have died, and there are 6 in the sky right now. That is so expensive. Both players have lost about 11,000 resources there. As we zoom out further, Broodlords usually call for further zooming out because the battle takes place when everything is so far away. So far away. And this is better. This is a more exciting battle here. Corruptor's trying to deal with the Vikings, but I don't know if there are enough Corruptors or not. The Broodlords are not taking direct shots, which is generally the idea. Some steady targeting going down on those Broodlords, or trying to do so, but the Banelings are causing major problems for these Ghosts on the ground too. But where is the ground support? Suddenly there's no ground support here. Queens are fighting. Queens are transfusing. The Marines are trying to focus down the Corruptors so that everything, the anti-air, can deal with these Broodlords. Where are the reinforcements from Serral? He's making 5 Queens at a time. He's running up Zerglings. Try to do something here. 2 kills, 2 kills, 3 kills. 1 kill and 4 kills on these Broodlords. I don't understand what their deal is. You'd think they'd rack up the kills, man, but they just don't. They absolutely just don't. Queen down. Marines and steady targeting. Taking out a Broodlord. Another Broodlord taking some shots. No! 24 HP, but not dead yet. No, he's not dead yet. Killing some tumors. 152 to 134 supply. Serral is suddenly in trouble. He lost those 23 drones. I'm not sure if he ever adequately replaced them. Looks like he's saturated on most of his bases. Is he sacking this base? Is he using drones to deal with this attack? What is happening, Serral? Was that a misclick or what? Where was there a Liberator I don't know about? What is this, Serral? He's way oversaturated up here for no reason. Now he's bringing the drones back down this way. He must have been worried about this attack, but it turned out to be smaller than he thought. I don't know, man. I don't know. Liberators, though, ready to rock. Baneling's getting some decent hits off there as well. Advanced Ballistics is done. Steady targeting does hit one of the Broodlords. And Time is marching up on this base. Liberators are not being dealt with. There's no anti-air. 4 Corruptors in production. But Serral is mineral starved right now. He really can't make that much stuff. Okay, he just made 40 Zerglings, so never mind. Maybe he was mineral starved, and he's not anymore because of that, but it doesn't matter. Time! Whoa! Time takes game number 3 to go up 2-1 against Serral. I need to re-examine these last couple seconds here. Yeah, so Serral uses his remaining whatever resources he's got to make 40 Zerglings. Which Zerglings do have 3/3, by the way, which is awesome. But is it enough to handle all of this bio, which is 3 armor and +2 attack for infantry? Did he forget 3 attack? I don't know. Yeah, so I mean, is losing that hatch the end of the game there? There are still 4 hatches. 1, 2, 3. What the heck? Why does it say he's got 4 hatcheries? That's a hatch. 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 He has 6 hatcheries, game. Maybe this one died. Is this one? Oh, right. A hatchery and a hive. Okay. Okay. I feel better about that. And right here. That's pretty much it, right? Right. So maybe this hatchery gets killed in the last couple seconds. I don't know. So I mean, what we're looking at here. Serral really oversaturated on that base, by the way. Time is sitting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases, which is really abjectly terrifying. And I think the problem was that Serral wasn't able to kill any of Time's bases. Not one. Not a single orbital command. Well, Some planetary fortresses went down, but they were like up here. They were forward planetary fortresses, I believe. But yeah, only how many SCVs died? I guess we could look at that. Only 3 SCVs went down, 23 drones went down. A hatchery was sniped off, and the ghosts were really good there too. So, man, time. Just the counterattack. Really making use of diverse units here. He's got Marines, Marauders, Liberators, Medevacs, Ghosts in the mix. He had some Vikings. I'm not sure if he does any more. No, every single Viking died, which is a total of something. 14 Vikings went down. All right, so time has Serral on the ropes here, y'all. It's very scary. It's very, very crazy stuff, too. All right. Next game up. And let's go to it. Serral finds himself down 2-1 versus the Chinese Terran player. He needs to win both of the next 2 games, assuming there are 2 games, to win the entire best of 5. His back is definitely against the wall. Top right here on New Repugnancy, we will find the current world champion, Serral. And a bottom left-hand corner, we've got somebody aspiring to be a world champion. It is time. Yes, it is time for time. Man, it is so hard, you guys. It is so hard not to do wordplay when one of the players' names is time. Boy. Yes, I've been casting a lot of ZVP recently, I realize. Both Brood War and StarCraft 2. So I specifically made this a ZVT for all the ZVT fans out there. And I need some PVTs as well, okay? Is that cool? Okay, I think it is. All right, hatch first here from Serral, as he's done every single game. Every single game this series. Low ground wall off here. Double barracks. Dun, dun, dun. It is a double barracks opening, and Serral has no idea because he's not worker scouting because he doesn't want to be behind in the mid-game. Should be good. All right, man. So Serral, blah, blah, blah. We know what he's doing. More interesting stuff over here from our Terran player. Also, by the way, there's a shop. There's a shop. My brain's like, it's a store, and it's a shop. It's a strop. Y'all, link in the description. Link at the end of the video, too. You can get hoodies and T-shirts and mugs and stuff. And try to get some more generic StarCraft type merchandise out there. Some really cool, like, Game of Thrones StarCraft branded things. But having trouble with color matching. If you have some experience with graphic design, especially when it comes to shirts and things, hit me up on email, falconpaladin@gmail.com. And I'd like to talk to you. So it's a double Reaper opening. So what are we doing here? I guess we're just going to name the Reaper. Do we have a Reaper group name? We don't. This Reaper's name is Jason Voorhees, the masked killer that always seems to come back on Friday the 13th. Jason was resurrected from his watery grave by Terran experimentation on Protoss technology. And he's going to kill this drone. After slaughtering the scientists, never mind, turned into a spore, never mind, not a spore anymore, and... yeah, oh no, doesn't get it. The Dominion managed to capture Jason and sentence him to the death penalty. Jason managed to survive the electric chair, lethal injection, a firing squad made up of siege tanks, and a cave filled with bees. Out of options, they threw Jason into the Reaper program, hoping that the Zerg and Protoss or rebellious Terrans will either be massacred by Jason or find a way to kill him. Yeah, in this case, it's the Zerg, find a way to kill him. So far, Reaper opening is Reaper opening. One drone has been killed. A Ling has been killed as well. More Reapers on the way here. Are we kidding right now? Is he 3 racks Reapering this? He's trying to get a spine up. Serral is in response to it. Oh my gosh, he's going to lose. He's going to lose trying. The Queens are here to defend it, though. They're like, come on, spine. Get on up. Another Reaper shows up here, and the creep spread is not ample to really do this. The kiting is amazing. I can't believe a Queen hasn't died yet. The spine finishes. Huge get for Serral there. Reapers are healing up with their combat drugs, which, again, don't do drugs, kids. Are they going home? No. You can't go home. I mean, they have delayed the third base a lot here, and the natural base is already done for time. So that's good. Also forced out a lot of Lings, which, again, Serral had to do, or he was going to die. Now the Lings are trying to do stuff, but they can't, because absolutely not. There is a full wall here, which, if you had Banelings, maybe. They're just actually looking for the Reapers. Third base does manage to go down, much to Serral's great relief. He's very happy to have a third base. And yeah, these Lings are effectively useless. I mean, sure, they're keeping the Reapers at bay. The Reapers want to get out there and do stuff, but they can't because the Speedlings are out on the map, and there aren't enough come on, God, why do I keep calling them Hellions? Reapers! There aren't enough Reapers to handle that many Speedlings. Although free Speedlings there, kind of whittling it down a bit. And that's where you hop up, and you get some more shots off, and then you hop down. Yeah, man. Reaper control in the hands of somebody who's good is really frustrating to deal with as Zerg, because you're like, my Lings are fast. They can surround the Reapers, but then they have hop-ups they can do, and then it's frustrating. So darn frustrating. All right, so what's Serral's answer to this? Getting a Baneling nest, because, hey, Banelings are good against Terran. Pretty much every situation. Not that Time's going to go mech. I don't know that he's capable of going mech. He certainly hasn't yet. And, I don't know. I'm not sure that mech is good against Zerg anyway, so maybe Time just recognizes that fact. Third base is going to pop. There's a bit of a drone transfer. There are 3 queens coming down to defend it, or at least 2 coming down to defend it here. Clearing out a couple units and loading and unloading and loading and unloading. Can he actually take down this hatch? He's going to try. Serral, if he loses this third base, is in a world of hurt. I don't know. The queens are transfusing themselves. The Banelings are here this time. KD8 charges, though, man. Hellbats absorbing a lot of the Baneling hits there. Oh, enough Lings. There are enough Lings and Queens here to actually hold it off. Wow. Serral making it happen. The medevac gets shot almost dead, but not killed. Does manage to escape. The Banelings, see, that's what I'm talking about. The Banelings are made a little bit further back off the edge of the creep. They're allowed to finish. If there are Banelings coming up here, I think Serral just loses this base. It's amazing what a little bit of positioning can do for a Zerg player. All right, man. So still 2 base in it here, putting a third base inside of his main. Going for a Cloak Banshee, which we haven't seen yet. Might catch Serral by a bit of surprise, but he is getting spores. So never mind. No surprises for Serral. He's got the detection that he needs. Did he scout this? He did not. He's just being safe. He's like, there's probably Liberators and probably maybe Banshees are an option here too. I'm going to get a Spore. Safety Spores it is. Safety Spores all the live long day. You notice they're a little bit later. That's just because he knew there was a lot invested into that Reaper harass. So Banshee timings were going to be later. So Banshee's going to try to kill as many of these units as she can, heading into the main base. Never mind. She's dead because the Spore Crawler burrowed up front, and there's detection, and she out. So that is brutal stuff. Ling's trying to get through here. But again, hard wall off, guys. You need Banelings if you're going to crash through. That would be devastating, though, man. If Serral could get like 30 Zerglings across, Baneling bust that supply depot, I think that might just be GG. But, you know, Serral, he knows it's hard to get Lings across the map like that without the Terran player seeing it. And if the Terran player sees it, you're in trouble. And this is what defensive Zerging is all about. Where's our third base? Third base is going to try to land down here. Once again, not a planetary fortress. I'm not sure what Time has against planetary fortresses, although we did use the mech on King's Cove. So it's probably not just a matchup-wide ban of I never make planetary fortresses. Just in Game 1, he did not at all. I guess more because he was trying to be aggressive, and you want more resources if you're going to be more aggressive. But then the Ling counterattacks really bit him in the butt, and what the heck is killing drones? This thing, Banshee, sneaking up this way. Is there an Overseer? There is an Overseer. I don't think it has Overlord speed. Nope, doesn't have speed. It was a little bit pokey. Could tell here. So Banshee going to be annoying. Banshee was almost dead there, but that's fine too. All right, so again, Serral fighting for his absolute right to live here. Baneling, see what I'm talking about. Baneling Bus kind of tries to get set up, but Time is just patrolling. He's running around. He's got air units patrolling. He's looking for this stuff, and he's shutting it down before it gets even off the ground, really. Overseer sneaks in and says, hey, look at this. Remember when Falcon said Time doesn't go mech? He's going race car mech, you guys. I should have known by all the Hellions we've been seeing here, and the Cyclones, too. That's a great tell. So definitely going to race car mech this thing, which Serral is recognizing. That's why he has the Ravagers and the Roaches. The Roach Ravager, not very good against Bio, but pretty great against race car mech, which I like to call race car mech. Some people call it other stuff, but race car mech makes the most sense to me because it is really zippy. And there really are no tanks in play here. Hyperflight Rotors on the way from Banshees, though. That is a little bit terrifying. That upgrade is not used enough, in my opinion. Fourth base from Serral. Might get a forced cancel. Oh my gosh. Yo, just kills it. Doesn't even get the forced cancel. Blue Flame Hellions roasting up these Lings, but not doing as well. The Baneling speed just kicks in. But again, off-crate Baneling speed. Oh, the trap! No! Swung around from the other side. Time loses so much stuff there. And suddenly Serral is up 127 to 109 supply. He's pushing in with the Roaches and the Ravagers. The double-cloaked Banshees are problematic for him. And he does have to flee because Banshees exist. Nice corrosive bile hits on those SCVs, by the way. Oh, the Ravagers are just getting massacred. Again, speed upgrades are the best in RTS games. I don't care what it is. Speed Banshees are about 40% better than regular Banshees, if not more, honestly. It might be like a 60 to 70% better situation. One of their biggest weaknesses without the speed upgrade is that they're slow and they can get caught by stuff, but these can't get caught by anything. Okay, Mutas can catch them. If you fungal them, you can slow them down, as Infestors are on the way. But Overseers can't keep up with them, as they snipe down some static defense here. They're going... trying to take down the lair, just being really annoying. Ling's coming on down, accidentally scouting this 4th base attempt of times. And they're like, hey, what? There's a base? Okay, great. We'll take that down. They do force an immediate cancel. SCV gets murdered for his trouble. And then the Cyclones come in with the lasers on their fronts, indicating that they do have the upgrade. The Magfield Accelerator. Banshee's just doing some work here, y'all. Loving it. I'm loving it. 10 kills, 7 kills, 6 kills on those Banshees. I don't know why more Terran players don't go for Banshees more often. I don't know Special loves Banshees. But obviously Time very, very good with them as well. Look, trying to take a 4th base naked. Again, here is Time. He doesn't have the units to really defend. I guess he is building the base in a safe location, then he'll float it over. So, all right, fair enough. He learned his lesson. But Lings, Ravagers, Roaches, and Infestors in the mix here, with Banelings morphing in. Resources lost here, 5,500 for Serral, 3,700 for the Terran player, and tech is fairly similar. This is just upgrades and static defense is generally what goes into these numbers. And it looks like a little bit more on the upgrade side of things from the Terran, as we can see. Just bigger number there. That's all it is. And usually more static defense from the Terran too. Although, pointing out, there is a lot of static defense at this base. And a bit of a Blue Flame Hellion run by. That does get roasted up himself. Ling's trying to see, is there a base here? I mean, no, but we will take down this refiner. Never mind, we'll just get roasted up by Blue Flame Hellions. That's fine too. Hydras on the way, and Swarm Hosts coming in. Have I ever seen a Zerg player try to go Swarm Host against Racecar Mech? I am not convinced that I have, you guys. Trying to think of it. Don't know. Really don't. Got tanks in the mix, which makes this less Racecar Mech in my opinion, and more of a Battle Mech type situation. There are some Thors. It would definitely be more of a just mech situation, but yeah, man, tanks are slow, right? So it can't be a race car mech now. They're ponderous units moving across here. I think Swarm Hosts are going to be used against the tanks, if I had to guess what their intent is. Man, what engagement here! Roaches, Ravagers, Banelings, Hydras attacking right into these tanks. Nice fungals on the Banshees, but they are still sniping units off here, trying to focus down the Infestors a little bit. Suddenly, the sound of Swarm Hosts, and oh crap, none of us can shoot up. Trying to use lock-ons, I guess. The Blue Flame Hellbats are trying to roast up these Locusts. Corrosive Biles taking down the tanks as well. This army, it looks like it might almost be toast, but there's not much else here for Serral either. And looks like we held on. We held on, boys. 9 kills on that tank. 10 kills on that tank, but he dead. Tanks continuing to fire in here, but suddenly it's 164 to 109 supply. And let the free unit balance complaining begin in chat. In chat, well, I don't have a chat here because I'm not live, but I am, again, live on twitch.tv/FalconPaladin a few times a week, and live here on YouTube, which you might have seen too. It is a little bit of an unfriendly time for Europeans, unfortunately, when it's a weekday stream, but it's better on Saturdays. It's more of like people are awake times for the Saturday streams. So watch for those ones too. Please do. Another race on the way from our barcode player Time. I'm always playing with a barcode name. Like, force them to use names. Doesn't matter if they're not ranked on whatever server they're playing on. And just barcode is not cool. There's actually a way to get their clan tag, which is sometimes how they do it, is they join a clan, or they create a clan that is their name, then you know who it is. But anyway, Serral's effectively maxed out, and Time is not. Time is trying to get there. He's desperately producing, going for the 3-3 for his mech too. Nice yoink on those Cyclones, and that's how you got to win this, man. 2 Cyclones remain. 7 of them have been killed. Killing the Cyclones is the deal here. Blue Flame Hellions trying to kill the Swarm Host, but they are armored, and as a result, the Hellions are not going to have a good time with those. But yeah, the armored type does take bonus damage from things like tanks, and things like Cyclones, and things like Marauders. So it's not like Swarm Hosts are really hard to kill. It's just Hellions have a hard time with it. Spire on the way. Additional Swarm Hosts here too. The Locusts are coming in, boys. They're coming in a little bit further away than they want to, I think, but they are going to catch a couple tanks. Oh, the army's away. The army's away, and the tanks are going to die. No! Okay, this one survived. I don't know how. But he did, and that's nice. But keeping that tank count low is really important here, too. There are Thors in production now. I guess maybe to try to deal with the Vipers to some extent. Baneling's spinning off creep a little bit. Not what you want to be doing if you are a Baneling. Again, Serral has not had a problem doing that, though. Banshees are trying to finish off that hatchery. They've been working hard. Look at how fast they're moving. Little fires coming out of their rotors there. Transfuse incoming. There it is. Okay, so Time, he's stabilized. He's making the Thors. He's got the tanks. He's trying to deal with the mech as well as he can. Or play the mech as well as he can. Serral trying to do the same thing. Greater Spiring it, which Broodlord's not a bad answer to this, honestly. He's got a lot of tanks. Broodlords are kind of awesome. His tank can't do anything about it. Ah, the Baneling hits and the Hydra attacks on all of the Cyclones down south, though. They are dead. And then the Locust getting on top of the tanks, causing friendly fire, too. A couple tanks go down. Not as many as I expected. Once again, though, I'm not sure if that's just because Time is controlling well or if Serral's getting a little bit unlucky, but one of those two things is happening. So we are 16 minutes into our game 4. Serral, he's just getting a little bit scary at this point. The Banshees really want to kill this hatch, but now there's an anti-air dedicated force down here, so it's not going to happen. Hydra's picking off another Banshee to join her fallen comrades today. Pathogen Glands finally coming in. Usually you get that before you make your infestors, but I'm not sure if Serral forgot or just didn't care. Nidus Network coming up, and an Extractor gets picked off. Lower gas means it's harder for Serral to do this T3 stuff with less gas coming in. But yeah, Nidus Network, it's got to be for the Swarm Hosts, right? He's trying to find an angle. This is actually not a bad place to throw down a Swarm Nidus Network. I used to do this when I go for my 13-12 Nidus Rush against Terran players and Protoss. Terran usually can handle it better than Protoss can, but this is a nice little hidey hole. So it turns out, attacking into a tank line with Hydras. Remember what I said? That's a bad thing. Don't do that. Banshees trying to take the hatch, but the transfuses are good. Transfuse is keeping that alive, that little heal over time. With the big pluses, because it's a big unit that's being healed, which is kind of fantastic. Locust, I don't know about this, Locust. How many tanks are you going to get? 0? Right, 0 it is then. Nidus coming up on this left side, not inside the Terran base at all. He's going to try to snipe this planetary fortress is what he's going to try to do. That's in vision, right? No, he can't see it. The barracks can't see it here. Baneling is trying to crash. Nice blinding cloud on those tanks, but Serral pulling back. Not quite the time. This Nidus scream does happen. I'm sure that Time heard that, and he's like, wait, where? Never mind. We got to keep pushing, man. We got the Hellbats. We got the tanks. We got the Thors. Again, Serral is really close to dying here, you guys. He's going to lose this hatchery. I don't know how he doesn't. I mean, I guess there are Broodlords on the way, but Locusts are swinging on in to Time's base, and this planetary fortress is toast. You can't out-repair this. Check it out. Nope, too much damage. Another Nidus Sword coming up inside the main. Broodlords and Hydras raining down. The Thors need to focus down. They need to focus down. Oh, nice anti-armor missile on the Broodlords. The Broodlords are getting a little bit wrecked here. More wrecked than they normally would. And yeah, man, he's just using the Nidus Swarm, and there's no response from Time at all. He is trying desperately to kill Serral here. That hatch does go down. This hatch might actually end up falling as well. The tanks are in position to do so. Good abducts on the Thors, and the Thors fall down. Suddenly, the Broodlords have free reign. The Thors are gone. The tanks are not enough. And I think that's it for this attack. Time is going to lose all of it. He's trying to flee for his life, but Broodlings are pretty fast. Locust's going to jump down and try to trap him too. And yeah, man, tank's getting wrecked. 198 to 128 supply. Look at that supply. Still, there are swarm hosts. Well, I thought there were swarm hosts in the Nidus network, but there are not. They're all out here, apparently. And yeah, the army supply is 73 to 137. Time is up big time. He's trying to snipe down hatcheries. Too many Lings, too many Hydras, and Serral does force a game number 5 there. Winning a 19-minute and 30-second game number 4. What an absolute banger of a match that was. So much dead stuff on both sides. Serral this time being more efficient with his units. 26,000 resources lost for him to 30,000 for the Terran player. That's insane. You usually don't see that in ZVT, at least not where the Zerg wins, but if anyone can do it, Serral can. 20 tanks down, 20 Cyclones down, 27 Hellbats, 3 Thors, 13 Banshees killed is way more than I thought had been killed. There are no Banshees on the field now, so every one of them died. Speed or no speed. And, only a couple Broodlords went down. Pretty good control there. In the end, they're abducting the Thors so they couldn't, well, abducting them and killing them so they couldn't get shots off on those Broodlords. Very nicely done. 5 Swarm Hosts picked off as well. And not many worker does for a 19-20-minute game. 16 drones down and 21 SCVs. That was an amazing match. I mean, we saw a lot of Zerg units built. Infestors, Ravagers, Roaches, Swarm Hosts, Broodlords, Banelings, Zerglings, Queens, Hydras. Like, you don't usually see that many different units from a Zerg player no matter what the matchup is. I guess ZVP can get a little bit diverse, but yeah, and then all of those, obviously the Marines early here, all of the Reapers early from time, and then a ton of tanks, Cyclones, Hellbats, Hellions, which I'm not sure if they count as separate units, but I suppose they do. Banshees, Thors, and Raven. So good stuff. I enjoyed that one. So we're going down to a game 5, ladies and gentlemen. Stick with it. Let's see what happens, because we'll be right back. It's game 5, it's game 5 here on Kairos Junction, the ladder edition. Top left, time, bottom right, Serral. Boy. I kind of feel like time lost his chance there, but I don't know. Anything can happen in a game number 5. I'll spoil something for you from this tournament, Asus ROG Summer Tournament 2019. Serral does not win it, okay? So if you assume Serral won this tournament and he's going to win this game, you'd be wrong. Okay, so game 5, anything can happen. Barracks first, hatch first, nothing too crazy. Yeah, just kind of having a good time here. I really appreciate all the support from you guys. I really do read every single comment. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm not so big yet that I can't read every single comment that is posted. And it's easy. It's easy for me and easy for channels of my size to do because a YouTube developer studio has a page for comments. It just has them all chronologically listed no matter what video they're on. If you comment on my very first video, I will see it on the comments page as the very most recent comments. Right? Right. So Fatty from Fatty TV once started a journey going back through all of Falcon Paladin's casts and commenting on them, and I could join him as well if I wanted to, because I'm like, who commented on this? Oh, it's Fatty. All right. I do like Fatty, by the way. Twitch.tv/FattyTV. Great dude. Really fantastic man. Just very handsome and very good at StarCraft. Better than I am. I believe he is. And you should check him out. Check him out on Twitch. But anyway, also don't go back and watch my early casts. They're not good, you guys. I have improved much, but I've done like 2,500 casts, so I hope that's the case. Anyway, Reaper's name is Finals Week. Look, I just need to hear that Finals Week has been blown into itty-bitty pieces. Is that too much to ask? Again, we are way behind on our Reaper name backlog. So this is from Finals Week, and it's like almost time for a new semester for college students when this is going to post. So that is the difference here. Anyway, Finals Week is going to die. I really don't see Finals Week staying alive. This is definitely longer than like a 3-minute game. So in that case, Reapers that survive that long are just extremely few and far between, and time does not do... Like, you really have to make it a priority to keep a Reaper alive for that long. Yeah, see Reapers being cool. All right, what are we working on here? Hellion opening, surprise, another factory though, double fac opening. That is surprising from time. All right, I'm officially surprised now. Third base gets down, which it should not. The problem is there are multiple places that Serral could throw down a third. Like, this is as pretty much good as this one is. I mean, sure, this one is easier to creep spread to. But if Serral wanted to, we could take this one just as easily. And so the Reaper has to cover two spaces, two potential bases that are super far away from each other, and it's bad. It's hard to do. Hard to do. Reapers are fast, but they're not that fast. Can you imagine a Reaper that was fast enough to adequately cover the distance between this base and this base in like a second and a half? Just shoop, 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 shoop. It'd be hard for Serral to get a third if a Reaper was that zippy. Also, if a Reaper was that fast, I think everything would just die. I don't think Queens could keep up, is the thing. I don't know. How fast would a Reaper have to be to where it just murdered all the things? There's going to be another Cyclone, so we're going to see more race car mech. Just straight up this time. No attempt at a mass Reaper opening. Just going to be all the mechs. Kitty charge. Whee! Queen's getting knocked into the air. Again, just reusing the animation from Phoenix Lift, but it's one of my favorite animations in the whole game, is the I'm in the air and helplessly flailing whatever limbs I have maneuver. Just makes me happy. Little things about StarCraft that make me happy. Like this stuff. Right, the little doodads here. I'm not sure what map maker made this map. It might have been Avex, but it probably wasn't. And the map maker's like, everybody thinks everything is Avex. I hate that guy. I don't know, man. But look, just little like steam pipes here. No, but you're not going to notice this really. You've seen this a million times. It has been on your screen while watching or playing StarCraft 800 times, and I bet you've never noticed these little steam pipes down there. I don't think I have, and I've been on this map a billion times too. Little stuff. Little stuff. Blue Flame on the way. Blue Flame is a pretty good indication that we're going to see more of a mech style rather than bio, as Terran players will not invest in Blue Flame unless they're going to have a lot of Hellions and Hellbats throughout most of the rest of the game here. So, Serral, did he get the scout off? I mean, he didn't. No, he didn't. He doesn't know what this is. But he's making Banelings. He's getting a lair. He's going for Lings. Going to be Ling, Queen, Baneling to defend until he knows what's going on. Once he sees the Blue Flame, which is now done. Great timing, honestly, by the way, here from time. Watch this right here. Blue Flame, what do we do? Immediate response here has got to be... Going to be Banelings. It's going to be Lings. It's going to try to take these dudes out and just not get murdered. And a Roach Horde immediately gets started. So that's what you got to do, Zerg players. If you see the Blue Flame and the Cyclones especially are a huge tell, but especially those together, get a Roach Horde, start making some Ravagers, try to defend as well as you can with your Queens and your Banelings. It's going to be really hard to punish this just with Queens and Banelings and Lings because of the speed and the kiting ability of the Terran units. It's going to be really frustrating. They need to hold on as long as you can. You're going to lose some drones. So far, so good here from time, man. Roasting up 5 drones is not bad. Losing a Hellion in the process, pretty good too. And actually, there you go. Ling's coming up to try to pick off reinforcements. And actually, they do force the Terran army back to make sure this Hellion doesn't get picked off. And coming in again for like round 3 on this third base. Again, the Hellions can't really kill the Queens, and the Queens can't really kill the Cyclones either. So it's a bit of a stalemate here, but Lock On does take down a Queen. All right, Lock On can do it. Ah, the Ling's getting the surround. Oh, the positioning. So important for Zerg. Serral gets it. Wipes out a lot of that army. That is 12, 13 Hellions and a Cyclone that have been killed. Oh, yeah, that slowed him down big time. Big time slowdown. The extra creep tumors are huge for Serral. Getting those down, additional spread of creep for the vision and for the speed for the Queens is fantastic. And the more important thing is it pushes the attack back here instead of right here, which allows for easier dives into the mineral line. So I think at this point, the Terran players just got to pull back home and say, ouch, that hurt. That hurt me a lot. Got to replace my army. What you can do, I mean, you can reactor Hellions anyway. You can't reactor Cyclones anymore once there was a certain level of OP coming from them. But I mentioned I've been watching Letterkenny. It's on Hulu, but originally a Canadian broadcasting show. Man, once again, third base not defended. More four. SCVs go down. But yeah, Letterkenny, set in Canada, probably like Alberta somewhere. They're Canadian farmers. And it's some of like the most hilarious writing I've ever seen. It's really good. Definitely not for kids, but it's on Hulu if you're in the States. Can recommend overall though. I also watched Next Gen. It's a Netflix original movie that's trying to be Big Hero 6 on some level. As Lings do sneak into the third base again to kill all the mules. It's pretty good-hearted, I gotta say. It's not the greatest movie. I'm not gonna give it like an A rating or anything, but probably like a B or a B minus. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Zergling trying to get that Serral, but the blue flame makes it really hard to do. Stop running, say the Zerglings. Bailing it happens, but yeah, Next Gen on Netflix. Again, in the States. I don't know what you have on Netflix in your other countries. I wish it was consistent, but I think based on certain licensing laws, it just can't be that easy. I would not like to be an intellectual property law for Netflix, negotiating contracts for everything you stream on every country in the world. What a pain. Alright, Ravagers are out for Serral. He's feeling pretty good about things. I gotta say, that's a lot of Ravager all of a sudden. Serral's army is way bigger, and just the lock-on doesn't do as well against the Ravagers. Good transfuse, by the way, keeping that one alive. And, hey, remember how your third base is still not defended? Dude, time. You can't keep doing this, man. You can't. Like, set up a couple Hellbats in a tank and just make... These Lings can't do it, okay? Make Serral invest more in third base harassment. Sounds like some kind of a weird political slogan, but trust me, it's true. Tanks are up. Tank transition is happening from time. He's making more Cyclones, too. It's not all tanks all the time. Serral's taking a fourth base. He's saturating that one quite nicely. His army supply is a little bit bigger. His worker supply is a little bit bigger. His overall supply is, as such, a little bit bigger combined. Creep spread is pretty fantastic here, too. Really wants to knock down these rocks. Serral has a rational hatred of rocks on these maps. Tanks setting up. Bring in the SCVs for the repair. This feels pretty all-in right now. Bringing that many SCVs for an attack, you got to kill a base or two if you're going to even that out. Boy, it's a lot of dead Ravagers from that tank fire, though. Corrosive Biles, nope. The SCV's repairing that up quite nicely. We're not going to lose a tank to that. Thank you very much. Blue Flame Hellions at the front. Roasting it up. Banelings! Banelings Crockett! Yeah! Wrecking all that stuff. Corrosive Biles down, taking down a tank. The repair saving another one there, and the fact that the Corrosive Biles didn't kill it immediately also saved it, I guess. But again, the creep spread. Creep spread is what's keeping Serral from really losing a base here at all. I mean, he's expanding on the right side. More Lings cruising into the third. Because again, is there anything defending this? Of course there's not. Of course there isn't. Time needs this to work now more than ever. Time is going to lose so many SCVs. He has SCVs on the front that aren't mining. The income is almost double for Serral right now. Time going to get supply blocked off of this. Is he? I don't know. He has 165 available. Corrosive Biles doing some hits. Tank down. Tank not down, but just A moving at this point, and bam, Serral does take it in 5 games, getting the victory. And again, I think a huge part of it is losing all of the SCVs in the world back here at the third base. 19 got killed. Sure, some of those 19 were after the game was technically over, but still, man, still, it's 43 workers at the 11-minute mark for Time, and that's bad. His third base is unmineable. And I don't know, man. I don't get it. Somebody needs to explain to me why on earth you wouldn't defend your third base a little bit more effectively or just put more effort into it. But yeah, no hatches go down. You really got to kill hatches if you're going race car mech. Cyclones are so good if they can get lock-ons. But again, look how much creep you have to cover to get to a hatch. That much creep. Look how much creep over here. That much creep. Look how much creep over here. A little bit of creep. I'm not sure that Time knew about this, to be honest. He didn't. He did not know about this space. That's a failure of scouting, I gotta say. Not knowing about this. Or this, honestly. So, yeah, I think it would have been probably better for him to try to attack one of these peripheral bases and snipe them off. And defending the third base, this game could have been going on, but in the end, Serral responded properly to the race car mech once he knew that's what it was. And ends up getting the win, winning those 2 games in a row that he needed to win. And, man... Serral just, man, he knows how to come back. And, I don't know. I think he's going to win BlizzCon this year, but we'll have to wait and see. BlizzCon is coming up in just a few short months. All right, so that's going to be it for me. Serral wins, and once again, comparable losses for the Zerg compared to the Terran, and that's not what you want if you're a Terran player. Bam. All right, that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and your Sunday series. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.